Developing effective e-learning. One of a series. Person-centered design. Developing a successful e-learning course centers around two things. The content. It must be relevant to your learners while meeting your objectives. And the individuals being trained. What is their level of experience? What areas do they struggle with? What are their goals? Content should be experience-based and include all the instructional elements that make clear what the training is being designed to accomplish. It should include an outline of concepts, facts, and procedures to be learned. Behavioral-based learning outcomes. In other words, upon completion, learners will be able to provide food services safely and lower the number of violations their organization receives, as with our Stearns County client. The types of interactions to include, with a description of all media to be developed, text, graphics, video. How assessments will be incorporated into the training. However, building a design from the subject matter expert's perspective and focusing on how thoroughly content is covered can also jeopardize the ability to look at the training from the learner's point of view. An instructional design may be well organized, thorough, and complete, but if learners don't encounter useful activities that relate directly to the job, activities that make them think, they quickly lose interest and gain little from your investment in training. There is a better way. It's called learner-centered training. To attract your learner, it's not enough to make the content relevant. It's how you do it. Engage the learner with activities that challenge them to figure things out. Reward success. Make assistance available when needed. Continue on this path by offering ways to integrate skills through the use of interactive exercises. And make these exercises meaningful in the context of the job by offering real-life situations. By seeing the consequences of their decisions in this safe setting, they're more likely to remember what they learned. Too frequently, content is organized in a logical manner that makes sense to the subject matter expert. Organized by hierarchy, by time, or from simple to complex. Much more interesting to the learner are concepts that go from the familiar to the unfamiliar, or from misconceptions to new understandings. They want to know how content relates to them, not in seeing how it is logically structured. So how do we do this? Some ways to achieve these goals for learners are: build on existing abilities. Don't waste time on things they already should know. Map content so that they work through a sequence as required on the job. Give them the freedom to select any task. If too difficult, they discover unmet learning needs that they can take on. Allow for review at almost any time, without penalizing them, by requiring that they repeat content already covered to get to the specific content they need. The way to do these things is to give learners the power to think about problems and how to resolve them. Practice skills that are most relevant to performance. Use activities to draw conclusions by going from specific examples to general conclusions. In a safety training we developed for 3M, we defined the specific danger related to confined spaces. We then asked the learner to use this knowledge to identify possible confined space dangers found on a 3M chemical site. Users were drawn to interactions like this. Apply general ideas to specific solutions. Our EJ Electric client, New York, requires all employees to learn their code of conduct policy. To train these employees, we provided EJ's policies on receiving gifts, for example. Then we introduced a scenario where a gift was offered. The learner would then select the correct response to give. Think carefully about your audience. What do they already know? What should ideal job performance look like? What gets in the way of achieving desired performance? What part of their job performance is most challenging? What motivates these learners in relation to their job performance? Expertise, advancement, competence, recognition. How much time is made available for training? How is job performance measured after training? For a program developed for a Washington State Department of Children, Youth, and Families client, the Washington team assembled an advisory group from the training audience. This group actively gave input on the content they felt was important and how it could best be presented. The Washington State project lead reviewed the input prior to sending it to us for our instructional designer to develop a production script, and our graphics user experience lead to design the visual appearance and navigational template for the project. The work is in creating the content. To define applicable learning activities, you need to call on experts in your organization to help put training in context. You need people who have the capability to identify the potential events and examples that can be turned into interactive, real-life situations. They need to be dynamic, forward-looking thinkers who can come up with compelling ways to hold attention. Ideas that can make training that works for your organization. If you're interested in developing an effective e-learning program based on person-centered design, Rivertown Communications can help. We're happy to share more details with you.